Simplified Chaos, episode 154.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Everybody, welcome to Simplified Chaos. I'm Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my co-host and husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? We hope you all are having an amazing week. We've got another great episode here for you as always. Jilly, what are we going to talk about today?
Food for thought.
Food for thought.
Literally.
We're talking food.
We're talking
Yes.
food.
If you've listened to some of our recent episodes, we've been going through a little bit of a food change here in the Kaselniak household. We're excited to share some revelations with you today. But before we dive into that, we'd like to show a little gratitude. So, Jilly, what you grateful for this week?
So much to be grateful for. I'd have to say your parents.
Yeah.
They were so kind enough to host us for a whole week in Delaware, and they showed us so much love and attention and home-cooked meals, and it was really, really rad to see just Lucille interact with your parents more and like wake up in the morning and have her little pitter-patter feet to go run to Mimi and
That's
go watch
right.
videos with her and hang out with her. And yeah, your parents are rock stars. It was so good to see when your kid has like grandparent time. It's such a great feeling to see them, to see that happen. Yeah.
Gotta love that family bonding.
What about you?
So mine's pretty similar to that, but mine is, just the ability to work remotely so that we can connect with family and friends, because we got a little bit of both of that on this trip. Not only did we spend a week at my parents' house, but, we have some friends that live out in that direction. So we got to catch up with them. And then, of course, this past weekend, we were back in Maryland because you had a baby shower sprinkle to go to. And so that gave us an opportunity to connect with, our other side of the family and some friends there as well. So just an amazing weekend and just totally grateful for this ability to work from wherever. So, yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, it was a lot of connection. And it's
Yes.
funny, I feel like after longer periods of connection type, I am like exhausted. And I don't realize it until like the next day, aka today. I was just like, man, I'm feeling off. But it's like my body's trying to like recalibrate, like, all right,
Back to normal.
back to normal. Yeah. And it's so funny how attuned I am now. Like I'm noticing that pattern of like maybe after hosting friends and family or like being gone for a while. And, it's great connecting, but it's like, it's also to have the other side and balance, like to just like come back home, soak us in, soak some stillness in, some quiet time. And it's
then do it all again.
both are, yeah. The yin and yang of our beautiful life. I love it so much.
Absolutely. All right, Jilly, let's talk some food today. I've always get excited about talking about food.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I forgot what episode it was. It was pretty recent when we were talking about health changes.
Yes.
I don't remember the title. Do you remember the title?
Winds of Change by the Scorpions.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my goodness. Never mind.
What is
It's a
it?
song from the 80s or maybe even early 90s about the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yep. I don't know the names of songs.
Okay,
I just
fair enough.
know how to sing them. Are you going to sing it for us?
No,
You
not
never
today.
do.
Yes. But it was a recent episode. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
So now we've got a little research project.
Jot that down.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to have to look up that song. But we did start implementing some new changes in the way we've been eating to improve our health, to improve our immune system. Like overall, we just want to be, I think the term is metabolic flexibler. To have more metabolic flexibility.
I don't even know that I can even go flexibler. Is that even a word?
I think it'd be fun.
Flexor?
Funner, flexibler.
Yes.
I don't know. They're just fun to say. But yeah, we've kind of been I mean, the pandemic, I'm sure, has provided this as an opportunity for a lot of people to make some changes in their life and
Yeah.
to deconstruct what's important to them, what's the meaning of life, like what do I value, and even more so. And we've really taken a look at our health, and we want to be more attuned to like and maintaining it and like doing the best for just upkeep, longevity, energy, like all the above.
Well, and just making sure that we're functioning, at 100% at all times. And, there are certain foods out there that prevent you from doing that. And also there are some certain foods out there that can just help you get to that next level. So like that's what I've really been into. And for me, it really started with just kind of diving into what the carnivore diet is. I've heard some great things about that and just improvement of health and certain ailments that have been with people for years just going away from that. So I was just really curious about it. And, what guy doesn't love meat? And I'm just kind of trying to find a way to like make meat a bigger part of our diet. And lo and behold, like as we were kind of going down this rabbit hole, we were just like, wow, meat actually really is important and serves a lot of benefits for us. And you can get so much nutrition from meat. And, I think a lot of people think of when meat, it's burgers and steaks and, ribs and stuff like that. But one of the things that I've really discovered is that, there's also intestines that are just so dense in nutrients that make up for what you might lack in some of those fattier meat areas. So like we've just been diving into a whole bunch of stuff there. And of course, we're not doing
Wait,
just...
did you just say intestines?
Yeah, organs. I meant to say organs. My
Oh
goodness.
my good gravy. We are not eating intestines,
Well,
people.
not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I think you just want to do some of them, just be like, yeah, I did that. Now I'm a man.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is that, but at the same time, it's just like
Why not try it? Yeah.
Well, when you look and see the nutritional value of it, it's just like, okay, if this is
Cool.
going to help me be peak self, then yeah, let's go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, and we probably should have prefaced with, we are not doctors and we do not recommend
yes.
you guys just,
Surgeon General warning.
This is our personal journey of ebbing and flowing and figuring out what's best for us. And if you
Yes.
can get any kind of value or like, want to try it, go for it. But this is our personal journey. And
Yeah.
I know every human body is so unique and different and, agrees with different things. But we've just, like Nick said, has been going down this rabbit hole of like discovering how to get the most nutrients out of our food and still love eating. Like we want our food to taste good, but we also are like, I'm not eating just for eating. I'm eating because I really want to optimize myself, like my mind, my body, energy. We do have a daughter, so it's like we want to be around for her and we want to model good habits for her and kind of show her that, there is no one size fits all and there is no one black and white answer for, I think, health for everybody. But this whole month and still continues to be this one big experiment. We have been introducing foods and letting go of foods to see like, how does her body feel? How does her mind feel? What's her energy like? And so far we've been having, I guess, some really good success stories from
Good results this far.
our change in our diet so far. And so I guess you could call this lifestyle change, it's kind of labeled sapien. It does focus on definitely eating red meat, protein, like from meat sources. We're finding out that red meat it's so much what do they use this term, like biodensity. I don't even know. I can't think of the language right now, but there's a lot of great nutrients in red meat. And we've been eating a lot of grass-fed meat, like beef. We've been eating chicken. We've been eating seafood too, but we've definitely made that a focus for sure.
I mean, it's probably more 60 to 70% of our plates at this point, rather than maybe a balanced portion of like a third meat, a third veggies, a third starch, or something along those lines. And what we've really done that we've really cut out have been grains, like a lot of the bread that we've had in our life, rice, certain things, even like we were doing quinoa for a little bit. Like those things, what we've found is like those are the things that kind of spike your insulin, which then give you that crash. And since we've been changing and kind of eliminating those from our diets, I've been finding more sustained energy throughout the day. We're eating 2 meals a day. Our first meal is around, anywhere between 10:30 and 12:30 for me. You're probably closer to that 10:30, 11 o'clock range, just because, you and Lucille are going to be going out and doing things. So it really all depends. And then we have dinner anywhere between 5 and 6:30. So we have 2 meals. We eat very heavy meals, I want to say. Like, I'm eating a ton right now when it comes to meat. Like, I'm eating a pound of meat almost during meals. Plus, we've got still fruits and certain vegetables that are within our diet that are low in toxicity and are, good for us. And I'm just really enjoying this experience. Like, I'm actually having fun eating food. And what's even more shocking is that I'm not missing some of the foods that I thought that I would just absolutely miss. And a key example of that is pizza. Like, I have not craved a single slice of pizza since we started this.
Yeah, I will say the more we've noticed, and I've been documenting just because I need that to look back on, when I have like these severe like bloating attacks, that to me they're like triggered they're even heightened now because I've changed my diet. So it's like really, really noticeable when I eat certain things. So something that's been triggering has been like pizza. We ordered a really great brick oven pizza that one day, and it was just like not good the next day. And something else I've noticed is like certain pastas, like it's just immediately like can feel, I'm like, oh man, I definitely know what this is. And it's eye-opening, and it's frustrating too because I do like eating pasta, but it also makes me want to experiment more. Like last night we had a brown rice pasta, and it was like bloating pretty bad. Didn't last super long, but it was definitely uncomfortable.
And it was immediate.
Yeah, I notice a little bit better when I have lentil noodles. So I'll still experiment just because I know Lucille does like pasta. So it'll be nice to kind of be able to share that with her. But if not, like, I'm okay letting it go. Like, it's okay. But it's been like an eye opener because I don't think I was as conscious because we ate so many variety of things. It was hard to pinpoint what was, aggravating me. And I'm not going to lie, you can tell a lot by looking at your poop. And it's, I normalize it now. Like,
I knew you were going to go there eventually.
We should all be looking at our poop to kind of be a health indicator. And if we're not, like, do a deep dive on, like, what quote unquote healthy poop is supposed to look like. And I know, it's not one size fits all, but I will say I've noticed a huge difference once I recalibrated. Like, Nick has been eating a lot more meat than I have. I started eating a lot of meat and mostly meat. And my body was like, what the fuck is going on, Jill? And like, I didn't poop for a week. Just going to put that out there. And I was like, oh God. And then all of a sudden,
to get a little worried.
I was. And then, my body naturally like did its thing. I was just doing all these mantras like, trust your body, Jill. You're really uncomfortable, but just keep drinking water. And I started adding some more salt to my diet and like reading all the things. Like my body, I knew it was going to go through some changes and digestively and all the above. And then I kind of...
All it took was for you calling your mom and talking about it to trigger.
It was. Everyone calls their mom and then they're like, Mom, what do I do? You need that little other voice of wisdom.
10 minutes later, it's just like, all right, here we go.
It happened. It was so cool. But I kind of, cut back on the amount of meat I was eating. So now it's a little less than Nick, a lot less than Nick, but it's still... most of my plate. Like I would say 50% of my plate, no, it's probably 60 like Nick was saying, 60% of my plate is meat, and then the other 40% is vegetables. And we've been going down the research rabbit hole of just learning about vegetables and how to eat vegetables that are going to be where we're going to get the most nutrients out of them, like how they're prepared, whether that's, fermenting or like specific vegetables that don't have a lot of toxicity to them. We're experimenting with them too, because I know like not all vegetables are going to be the same for everybody. So it's been right now and it's kind of simplifies the way we grocery shop too. It's, we either buy asparagus or a zucchini, sometimes broccoli. We've been testing out cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Like we've just been like testing them out to see how our body does, and haven't bought spinach in like a month.
I know. I never thought I'd see the day.
I haven't bought kale in a month. And that's just because we've been learning. Like, I thought I was getting all of these great things mostly from vegetables. And now I'm finding out that it's kind of a lie. Not that you can't get nutrients from vegetables, but there's a certain way you have to process certain vegetables to get the nutrients out of them, because they're like born not to want to give it to you because of all the mechanisms that plants have. And you can do the research yourself if you want, or we can put some podcasts to listen to if you want to reach out and let us know.
Yeah.
But it's probably too much to say on here, but it's really helped streamline the way we shop now and how we plan for meals. And I thought we had to have like, you know, all of the things, all the colors, all of these different food groups. And now I'm learning, actually, we're doing really well with less.
Yeah.
And just focusing on the foods that have the most nutrients in them.
And this is kind of a good time for us to be experimenting with this, because, you know, from what it sounds like, from what we hear in the news, is that we're going to be dealing with a pretty big, I don't know if it's going to be a big food shortage, but they are predicting a food shortage, you know, this summer. The price of fertilizer, due to the, you know, the war going on in Russia and Ukraine, is going up because Russia is one of the primary producers of fertilizer. And so, you know, we've put sanctions on Russia, and then in return, you know, that stuff happens. And so like crops and stuff like that are going to get expensive. Some farmers aren't even going to be able to produce crops this year. So like, it's just nice making that pivot and knowing that, you know, we're sourcing local farmers, you know, local food markets, but more importantly, we're sourcing local meat and actually talking with the people who are, you know, growing the animals. And it's just been an awesome experience just to talk with folks and learn a little bit more about that process. And, you know, just know that, you know, these folks are here and that they're, you know, going to be able to help us out, you know, if God forbid this does happen. But, you know, that's just, you know, one of the things that have kind of helped us with this mind shifts change.
It's a lot of mind shit.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot going on up here, Jilly. You never know. But yeah, I mean, that's another key thing there. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and as far as like expenses too, it's kind of leveled out. It's kind of the same. And it's because we're not buying foods to snack on anymore. Like, we do have some things for Lucille, like,
yeah.
But for us, it's like we used to be buying like salami and pepperoni and all these cheeses and a lot of things to snack on. And now, because we're not snacking, it's like we have like the 2 big meals a day. I think the only thing we snack on maybe is like olives, and I'll snack on them sometimes when I'm cooking dinner.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's kind of evened out. We're not spending any more money. We may be spending slightly less, I'm not sure, but it is really awesome to be able to put our money into the farmers' pockets, into small businesses, because, you know, we trust, we get to be able to talk to them to like understand, you know, how they're raising the food. And it's cool to be able to experiment with that as we travel. Like in Delaware, we got to visit a small farm near your mom, and it was so awesome to meet them and like see the animals and test out their meats and sausages, and it was so good.
Yeah.
And I will say, the quality and taste in meats, once you find a local farmer, holy moly.
Night and day.
Oh my God. That's another thing. It makes you not want to go back to like the conventional mainstream like meat that I was buying in like Giant. Like, we will if we need to, but the taste and quality of like the sausage and the
sausage has been like the biggest thing, like the just most noticeable taste change. And if you've never had like fresh sausage before, what is that noise? All right, folks. Well, we found out what that noise was. That we actually had to stop the podcast there for a second. And we decided we're going to just leave that in there because it's too funny. But like, Lucille's tablet is just out there on the kitchen counter. And then all of a sudden was just playing some weird Cocomelon song, loud as shit. And it actually kind of freaked me out there when I'm talking about sausage. God.
I just stared at you with my eyes open because I was like, what the hell is that?
When you have a dark house and like you're just in your bedroom and then all of a sudden something starts playing, like your hairs just stand on it and it's like, what the fuck is that? Good God. Anyways, fresh sausage is goddamn amazing.
Oh,
it is
man.
so good. And you know, it's just a completely different taste than any kind of sausage you can get in the store. Like, you know, it's fresh. It's so good. Anyways,
Yeah.
Just kind of shifting, so one of the challenges, like when you have like, I don't want to say that it's a strict diet because we will eat,
It doesn't
whatever,
feel
whenever. It
restrictive.
doesn't feel restrictive at all.
No.
But, one of the questions is always like, when you go out, well, what do you order? Luckily, like for meat, like it's available everywhere. But like, for example, the place that we went to the other night was like, they had burgers and other kinds of things. It was just kind of a basic kind of American fare kind of place. But like these burgers sounded awesome, and they were awesome, and they were like quarter-pound patties and stuff like that. And you had an option of a single, a double, a triple, or a quad. And I was just like, yeah, let me get the quad, no bun. So I cheated a little bit. I ate the whole quad, pound of burger.
How does that mean you cheated?
Well, if you get rid of the bun, like that's more filling.
Oh, you mean you cheated as in, like...
and was able to eat the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah.
So to preface, like, apparently not many people have been able to finish the quad.
Yes.
Like, very few. So Nick
Maybe
says
one
he
of
cheated
5.
because he was able to finish it, but he didn't have a bun. So I get it now. Yeah.
And I dabbled in a couple fries, and we had some Brussels sprouts with that. But it was very easy, just no bun. It was awesome. So it actually makes things a little bit easier eating out too.
Yeah, and kind of like I said before, like we're not rigid and restrictive, and like it's not black and white. So yeah, we live a little when we go out, and we test the waters to see like, all right, how does our body do? So like I got a burger, which is great. Like I didn't get the bun, which I've been eating bunless burgers for a long time now.
You have been.
And it's delicious because I'm all about the meat and like the pickles and the onions and the cheese. Like to me, that's like my favorite part. But we did get fries, and I know like the oils they use in most commercial kitchens are not really good, but I'm gonna indulge and like test it out. Like I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
it's not like this perfect plan. It's kind of like if I'm out and they have delicious fries, I'm definitely gonna try them out, and then I'll like reevaluate. How did I feel?
If they would have had mixed vegetables or something like that, I would have asked that instead of fries, probably in that situation, but they didn't. So I was like, yeah, I'll hunker down on a couple fries there, but I'm going to focus on this quad burger.
I think the foundation is that it, like we were talking about before, it's like we consistently choose, quality oils to cook our food in, because we have a lot of control over our kitchen. So we do cook a lot here, but we do go out and, we love eating and testing out food. And that's the cool thing about, I don't know, changing this is kind of helped us, like we'd streamline to just finding really good local farms and then finding good restaurants too. Mm-hmm. I think it forces you, and we've always been kind of like loving the farm to table kind of places, but I think it puts a little bit more emphasis on really seeking those businesses out, those restaurants, those shops, and like supporting them and knowing like all the hard work they're doing to curate these amazing goods and supporting them. So it is nice that it forces us even more so to choose certain restaurants. Like in Delaware, we chose this really great farm to table place where they literally have the farms on there. We got to meet the farmers when I went to the farmer, and it was kind of cool. Like, hey, I ate that pork last night and this is from this farm. So it's really cool to kind of like just know the transparency of where your food's coming from. But like I said, like there's a lot of gray in food and diet, and like we're eating it too and having fun, and like it's not like really, it doesn't feel restrictive, it doesn't feel rigid, because
it's fun.
And to me, like the meat is the best part. I mean, it's got so much flavor. Like there's a reason why we love meat, because it tastes really good, and luckily for us, it's got a lot of great nutrients in it too. So yeah, I just want to spread that out there that, it's, I don't know, that it doesn't feel rigid or restrictive. Yeah. And, I don't even like to say cheat. It's like, we're just living, Yeah. We're gonna venture in there. And we're gonna try it out, Right. So whatever.
Well, it's, and Jill mentioned, we've done a lot of research on this stuff, and I would say almost probably 100 hours at this point, at least combined, if not more than that, just listening to different podcasts, reading different things and stuff like that. And one of the things that I think we found, or at least that we feel, strongly about, is like a lot of what we're told about food is completely wrong. And, we're just trying to dive into that. But at the same time, we're also not trying to change anybody else's lifestyle. If somebody finds a vegan lifestyle works for them, that's totally cool and whatnot. We're just kind of saying, what's been working for us and how we've actually been able to simplify our lives a little bit more, based on this. And, we're really just, excited to see where this journey goes and continue to report on it, because I think there are some people out there who would be interested in it. And if you want to talk to us more about it, you can always hit us up on Instagram or shoot us an email. Our email is always in the show notes as well. But yeah, no, it's just a really cool journey we're going on. We're really excited about it, and that's really why we wanted to share it, because it's a big part of our lives, and we share everything about our lives on this podcast. So we wanted to share it with you all.
Totally. And I heard this quote the other day that it was, a short story is the shortest distance between 2 points. And I think about like when you hear somebody share their experience or their story with anything, it immediately like pings your heart if like that is like where you are in that season of life, and how one story could make a difference or change your life or make you make a different decision. So hopefully this one story, may hit you in one way, or you may know a friend who's like going through some changes and like, hey, I listened to this experience, have you ever looked at this, and check it out. So
yeah,
like Nick said, we're not prescribing this to anybody. We're just sharing our unique experience and how we're experimenting with it, and we're getting a lot of benefits so far. And like Nick said, if you have any questions, we can shoot you all the resources, the podcasts, some books we're going to be investing in even more so to just learn more. And it's not, this isn't the end of the journey. We're still learning.
Just the beginning.
And we aren't experts at nutrition, but we are experts at ourselves and try to be. So we're just listening to our bodies and kind of going in the direction that kind of up levels us. And it's been good so far.
Absolutely. All right, Jilly, do you have any resources for our listeners today? I'm sure you do.
I do.
All right.
It was a blog post about, and this is from Mark Sison, the guy that started
good.
Primal Kitchen. If you guys know Primal Kitchen, all of those amazing condiments that he sells that with avocado oil. Anyway, he has a blog post that's called The Definite Guide to Metabolic Flexibility. I like flexibler.
I don't even know what you were trying to say earlier.
And it was why we need metabolic flexibility. There are many good reasons to want more metabolic flexibility. It allows us to safely and effectively utilize a wider variety of nutrients. If we enjoy metabolic flexibility, we can eat a purple sweet potato and a grass-fed ribeye. It means we can tap into different fuel sources to power different activities. Most importantly, it means we can trust our bodies. The more metabolically flexible we are, the less we have to micromanage our macronutrients and calories. We can just eat, and as long as we stick to whole foods, the satiety signaling we receive will generally be accurate and reliable. But metabolic flexibility gives us more flexibility. It gives us more room for error. And in one of his books, The Keto Reset Diet, it says, overfeeding is the essence of accelerated aging. Metabolic efficiency is the essence of longevity.
Ooh.
So that's a word I've been throwing, like that term metabolic flexibility. We've been hearing a lot more in our research, and that's why we wanted to share it with you guys, because it's something that we're striving for. It's not like striving to be fit, or I don't know. There's all so many words. I really love these scientific words, because it's really what we're all about. We want to be full. We want to be satiated. We want to be, fulfilled nutrient-wise to just, live long and happy lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So he's been a great resource for us as well, amongst others. So that was a good pull there, Jilly.
Mia.
How about the quote of the day?
The quote of the day is by my yoga teacher, Adriene Mishler.
Oh.
And it's just, find what feels good.
Damn right.
No science
be
words.
The motto
just,
in life.
Find what feels good and just keep going down that path.
Yeah, go down that rabbit hole. And your take action challenge is?
Find what feels good.
Quote of the day and take action challenge.
I mean, it seemed fitting.
One and the same. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. If If you like this episode, please do us a favor and help us spread the message. You can do this by writing a review or simply by sharing this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation. Conversation leads to action. And action is how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. Jill's laughing at me the way I said conversation.
I was.
I know.
You did great.
I thank you. And we want to thank you all for listening today. And we will see you again next week.
See y'all later.